LLMs are pretty amazing, but there's one thing at which they've been notoriously bad, and it's music theory. Every musician has their horror story of LLMs attempting to do music, and that's not so surprising because, LLMs are text predicting machines. They haven't been trained to predict notes. They don't have an internal model of how chords work, scales, what makes a good voice leading, and so on. But a couple days ago, I poked one of the state-of-the-art LLMs on music theory questions, and I was actually quite surprised by the progress they've made over the last year or so. So today we're going to put these LLMs to the test with a series of 15 questions. They're going to range from super easy to quite hard for an LLM. All these questions can be answered by a, graduate level music student. You might laugh at question 15, but it's actually very hard for them to do that. But we're going to try to find out if LLMs could actually help you learn music theory as a companion, or if it's too early for that. Basically, when am I losing my job as a music teacher? I did some preliminary testing, and I found that the three best contestants at the moment were GPT-5, of course, Gemini, and Claude, whatever model number they're at. All right, so we're good to go. This is basically a homemade music theory benchmark that I'm making on the fly here. I don't think this has ever been done, so let's see how they fare with these questions. So first question is, a triad is made of the notes G sharp, C sharp, and E. What is the root and quality of this chord? So of course, this is an inversion of a C sharp minor chord. Let's see if they can figure that out. I'm expecting good answers here. C minor triad first inversion. Okay, this is a bit embarrassing, but I failed to notice that GPT confused the first inversion and second inversion here. I was looking for C sharp minor. Obviously, this is a second inversion of the C sharp minor chord and not first inversion. Still, the inversion was not part of the question, so I'm still going to get full points, but this should not have gone unnoticed. It's trying all the possible inversions. Correct. All right. So it's even providing a video. This is a little bit over the top, but okay. Good answers everywhere here. Good job, guys. Second question. The notes B flat, F, D, and A form a chord. Analyze it in Roman numerals in the context of F major. Okay, so this is basically a B flat major 7 chord that's spread out on the keyboard, which plays the function of a 4th degree in F major. Let's see if they get that right. By the way, this was not, this is pretty recent that they get these questions right. I remember having fun with chords and modes, and they were basically spitting out bullshit. But as of now, in F major, this is 4/7. It's a B flat major 7 chord. That is correct. I think everyone got it right. Full points. Third question. In the key of E major, what is the full name of the 7th chord built on the 3rd scale degree? So that would be G sharp minor 7. By the way, these are the top models. So I got subscriptions to ChatGPT 5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and Claude Opus 4.1. So this is really the best of the moment. G sharp minor 7, correct. G sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7. Excellent. Full points up to now. So this question I've asked a bunch over the last years, trying to find out all the modern modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, etc., that feature a minor 7th relative to the tonic. And it had a lot of trouble not missing any. Let's see if it's able to find the 5 modes. Yes, Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Perfect. I love this table with the X and the checks. This is a great way to present the information. So 5 out of the 4. Yes. And okay, the presentation of the answer is not so great here, but yes. Oh, wait, it forgot something. It forgot the Locrian mode. So it says here that the 7th is minor, but it forgot to include Locrian here in its answer. So wrong. Gemini has a strike. 5th question. A progression in B flat major is B flat, going to G7, going to C7, going to F. And I'm asking, what is the function of the G7 chord in Roman numerals? So basically we're entering into the the field of secondary dominants. C7 is itself a secondary dominant, is a 5 of 5 going to F, and G7 is the 5 of C, which is the second degree in B flat major. So it should output 5 of 2. It's the dominant of C, which is a 2 chord, so 5-7 of 2. Great, ChatGPT got it right. 5-7 of 2, wonderful. And 5-7 of 5. No, 5-7 of 2, going to 5 of 5. Wonderful, perfect. Full points. Very recently, they were completely unable to answer these types of secondary dominant questions, so I'm actually quite impressed by that. Next question is a lot trickier. So B, G, F, and A appear in F major. What is that? So basically, this is a G9 chord without the fifth, and since G is supposed to be minor in F, with the B natural, it becomes a 5 of 5. Let's try to find out if it can realize that this is a 5 of 5. Yeah. Does it say something about no fifth? Perfect. G9, no fifth. Excellent. 5-7 of 5. Okay, it dropped the ninth. It never realized that A is a ninth. The note A is also present, but doesn't talk about it. So I'm going to remove half a point here for Gemini, since it doesn't talk about the ninth in its final answer. Oh, what have we got here? A G7 flat 5? What? 5-9 of 5? Yeah, okay, that's right. It almost got confused here with this flat 5 thing, but in the end, the answer is correct. So as of now, Gemini is actually trailing behind its competitors with 4.5 points compared to their 6 points. So that's surprising. I was actually expecting Gemini to perform better. The next question is, in the key of E major, the chord G#7 resolves deceptively. So we're getting to the field of deceptive cadences. So normally this G7 would go to C# minor, but a deceptive cadence is you just go up 1 degree instead. So they should be able to find that G#7 can go to A instead, or A major 7 if they add a 7th. So it goes to A major, which is 4. Perfect. Full points for ChatGPT. Result to A major, which is the 4th. Perfect. In the key of E major, it functions as a 5 of 6. This is correct. And it can go to A major 4th chord. So they do understand the concept of deceptive cadences. That's pretty impressive. Next question is A, D, C, F sharp, and E flat appear as a chord in the key of E flat major. So basically, this is a shuffled version of D flat 9, which, if found in E flat major, would most probably be a 5 of 3. So are they able to solve that puzzle? Very chromatic collection. Yeah, I agree. Unraveling chord identity. Is that a pun on Ravel's name? Okay, so 5-9 flat 9 of 3. Pretty good. Flat 6-7? What? In harmonic? Oh, it failed at identifying the chord, actually. Trying to find the root. F#7 chord? That is very far from the truth. Tritone substitution for 5? Not true either. Okay, so 0 points for ChatGPT. Gemini, it's the 5-7 flat 9 of 3. Yeah, I feel like if they fail at, the first steps of the reasoning, there's a good chance they're going to be ending up completely astray. So we got points for Gemini and for Claude here. Congratulations. That was a hard question. So at the moment, Claude Opus 4.1 is leading the way with 8 points. A scale is, okay, so this question concerns scales and not chords. So a scale is spelled it's not a normal scale. It kind of looks like I think it's the Hungarian minor mode or something like that. But basically, it's just an inversion of the D minor harmonic scale. So I'm wanting the answer that this is the fourth mode of the D minor harmonic scale. Let's try to see if they can figure that one out. Fourth mode of D harmonic minor. Perfect. Oh yeah, it's Ukrainian Dorian. Excellent. So actually, it's filling gaps in my music theory here. It's not Hungarian, it's Ukrainian Dorian, which is accurate. Wonderful. Bonus points for Claude. No, okay, no bonus points. This is a mode of the harmonic minor scale. Yes. The fourth mode. Perfect. Or Ukrainian Dorian. Wonderful. And the fifth mode of the C harmonic major scale. Holy cow. C harmonic major on the fifth note. This is not true at all. It doesn't contain an A flat. So ChatGPT is confused again. Look at that. So Gemini has just passed ChatGPT in the race. Next question is, what is the hidden harmonic function behind the chord G sharp, F, D, and B? Okay, so basically here we're getting into the hidden functions of diminished chords. So basically this is a fully diminished chord. It points at a function of an E7 flat 9 chord, which in E minor would act as the 5 of 4, basically. ChatGPT is taking its time. Claude already has an answer. It's the 7 diminished of 4, which is a valid way of saying it. He could have said 5, 7, flat 9, rootless, but 7 of 4 is a perfectly valid way of conceptualizing it. 7 of, there you go. That was pretty concise. Normally I'm used to longer, more verbose answers from ChatGPT, but that is accurate, so we'll leave it at that. Great. Okay, they all got it right. I'm surprised about the 7 of 4. I rarely think about it this way. It's more like a 5 of 4 to me without the fundamental, but that's not incorrect. So I'll give full points for this question. So Claude still leading the way with a comfortable advance of 1.5 points. Comfortable lead, I should say. In a piece in A flat major, we get an E7 chord. Explain a possible function of this chord. So we're getting to more advanced music theory concepts here. So if you get an E7 in A flat, it's most probably a German sixth chord that's going to resolve on the 5, or on a 1/6/4, then going to 5, and then resolve to 1. So I'm going to accept two answers here. Either the German sixth, which is kind of a sub 5 of 5. And I'm also going to accept the answer 5 of the Neapolitan degree. In A flat, the Neapolitan degree would be A, since it's a flattened second degree. And so E7 could go as a 5 of N, a 5 of the Neapolitan degree. So let's see which one they find. It's the 5 of A, very good. But then here it's getting confused. E7 is a tritone sub for the dominant. That's not true. B flat 7 is not the dominant of A flat. It's a valid resolution as a substitute dominant resolving to 1. Okay. So it just thinks that the dominant in A flat is B7, which is not true. And then it transfers that to the tritone sub. So it just got the dominant wrong. So wrong. Okay. Here, the original chord. So tritone sub, again. It's a substitute for the 5 of 5. This is actually accurate. Or a chromatic mediant directly back to the A flat major chord. Okay, yeah, that could be used in film music, John Williams style. E7 going to the 1 chord. Yeah, I'm going to give full points here because actually the German sixth is basically a sub 5 of 5. So this is pretty accurate. even if it didn't get the proper theoretical classical name. That's okay. E7 is a tritone sub of B flat 7, which is the 5 of 5. So it's a sub 5/5 resolving to 5. Very good. So Gemini and Claude both get full points, whereas ChatGPT was confused about which is the 5. Okay, so now we're getting into super easy questions for humans, but hard for AIs, is the voicing questions. Show a complete voice leading. So basically what I'm asking is, I'm on an F chord fundamental position, and I want to land on the first inversion of that chord, but passing there through a second inversion chord. So it's very common in harmony where you're going to do something like this, pass through the C chord second inversion, and then you're going to get into that. So let's see if they are able to create this voice leading. Considering the core request. Okay, so summary of voice movements. FAC going to GGC. Well, that's not a very valid C chord. And then you end there. Okay, it landed at the right spot, but the intermediate chord was wrong. Let's see what ChatGPT did. Wait, how can I? Okay, so it's in a 4 voice? What? I never talked about 4 voice. Okay, so FAC going to CG. Oh, very good. ChatGPT got it right, except they were confused in the middle about the number of voices, but in the end they got the right answer. Perfect. Wonderful. Impressive. That was not the case a few months ago. So, okay, so the bass is going to go F, G, A. This guy's going to go... Okay, so same thing. We kind of... in contrary motion to the bass. Okay. Moves with small, elegant leaps. Okay, again, the information display is really not Gemini's forte. I can't really understand what the answer is here. Okay, so basically the C chord is incomplete here. We don't have a C, so that's not going to work. And then also the leading tone here is not resolving to F, so that's not really musical. So no points for Gemini here. No points for Claude. This is ChatGPT's revenge. Let's see how they fare with the next question. So G sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and B. First analyze the chord, which is G minor 7 chord, and then find the smoothest voicing, minimizing voice movement to land on a C sharp minor chord. So the best answer here is to go like this to keep the G sharp and the B intact, but just lower the 2 voices in the middle to get to a C sharp minor chord. Let's see what voicing they suggest. So it got the chord right. Okay, so basically it's saying that the voice that was on D sharp should go to E, and the voice that is here should go down to here. That kind of creates the good answer, but it creates a crossover in the voices. So basically the alto is going to be singing lower than the tenor, which is not so bad. I'm going to give half points here for ChatGPT's answer. Okay, here. Wait, what? Okay, B top voice does not move. Bass moves to a new root, establishing the new chord's harmony. Okay, let's try that. We'll go here. D sharp moves up a half step to E. F sharp moves up a whole step to G sharp. Okay, so you're saying it wants a fundamental position C sharp minor chord, which is not crazy. I kind of like this answer actually. It's musical. It's not the one with the least movement between the voices, but it's pretty good. So half points for Gemini as well. Okay, and here Claude has exactly the answer I was looking for. So G sharp stays, the B stays, and these 2 voices go down 1 whole step. So arguably this is the best answer. I'll give full points for Claude. So Claude is consolidating its lead with this last answer. Next question, I'm on a 2 chord, voiced E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat. So basically this is a spread out E flat minor 7 chord. So if this is a 2, provide a 5 resolution that uses a tritone substitution on the 5. This is what I'm expecting. Basically a jazzy 2-5-1 with D7 as the tritone sub. What? Forms a D flat major 7 chord? Okay, Claude is completely confused. He's talking about C flat major 7 chords? What? Okay, completely confused. 2-5-1 going to D7, very good. So if we have this, we can go here and then here. Perfect. Perfect answer from ChatGPT with great voice leading. Okay, and here he's saying, oh, interesting. What was my question again? Is it? He kind of switched the tenor and alto voices here when he transcribed the questions. Actually, the tenor was the one on the B flat and the alto was on G flat. So so that's inverted, but from there, yeah, that works from there. So half points for Gemini since they badly transcribed the order of the voices. Okay, so here I just want to ask one last question, but first of all, I need to correct Claude on its answer. Okay, because I want to ask as a last answer, can you draw this chord progression on the staff? Because I'm really curious about how they are able to draw notes at this point. Since they're all multimodal, they're capable of multimodal input and output. They should be able to do something, but let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have our first answer here from Claude. That's actually not too bad. The 5 flats are here. For some reason, we're in bass key, in bass clef. The chords are spelled out correctly at the top, but the notes are completely off, as expected. Although there is a sharp in the D7, which would be the case normally, and there wouldn't be any naturals here in the D flat major 7 chord since we're in a very tonal context. Oh, ChatGPT's answer has 4 chords. Wonderful. So he forgot that there's only 3 chords. What is this? 1, I, 7, 5, D7. Okay, the D7 is there, and he has mixed up Roman numerals with chord symbols, and that's not a very good answer. There's no flats, even if we're in D flat major. That's impossible. Okay, here it is. Holy cow, what is this? Okay, this is hilarious. So we've got dynamics, very important. We have guitar chords, which make no sense. No, that's not a C chord at all. And the C chord is actually different, and there's a 33 beneath it here. That is hilarious. What are all these red lines here? A equals F sharp. Yes, very wise. And these repeated notes at the bottom are apparently D's. Although it did place the B flat in the right spot, except there's 4 flats missing. So I'll give half a point for creativity here. No points to ChatGPT because it's absolutely senseless. And I'll give a half point to for Claude's attempt here because there are 5 flats and the chords are written properly. So we actually have a clear winner, which is Claude Opus 4.1 is beating ChatGPT and Google Gemini 2.5 Pro at music theory. I didn't think this would be the case. I thought Gemini was going to win from previous pre-testing. Let me actually add one last question. I'm really curious if they can recognize a simple chord on a staff. And ChatGPT, for some reason, doesn't allow me to include an image file. So we'll stick to Gemini and Claude for this. but can you analyze the chord in the image? Sorry, I went too fast. Analyze the chord in the image. Because, you know, if LLMs could do like analysis of scores, that would be super interesting. Let's see if they can just analyze a simple triad. Bottom to top, the notes are C on the ledger line below the staff. E boy. E on the bottom line of the staff and G on the second line of the staff. There's no notes on lines here, so he's completely confused. He thinks this is a C chord. So, and that's kind of weird, you know, because they can spot, you know, dogs from cats, but they can't spot where the notes are on lines. So it's not enough to do edge detection, it seems. Okay, this one is perfect. This goes to B diminished triad in second inversion with one altered note. F, B, and E. Wow. Okay. An altered chord, but its fundamental identity remains B diminished due to the strong root fifth relationship. Okay. Amazing. It thinks it's a B diminished suspended or something. Okay, so no points on the image recognition. So LLMs are still very far from being able to do notation processing or score analysis. But still, Claude wins this contest. This was an unusual video. Let me know if you liked it and would like me to do more of those. In the meantime, go make music, but preferably without an LLM.